Hi everyone and happy Friday. As promised, I got this video out on time this week. So it's kind of crazy as I was putting all this together to realize we really at that after the end of this week, we have 2 weeks left in the semester. And so I just wanted to go over some things about the content for next week, group conferences that are listed on the schedule, maybe answer some questions about the group presentation, and then just talk about some things in general. So, week 14, which is next week, the focus is on sort of group and group work, and they are reviewing a chapter. There are two new group activities in the COVID-19 folder on the open page. There's one on handling Q&A sessions, which even though they will not be doing that in their final project just because we don't have a good mechanism for that, I think it's a good exercise just so they are at least exposed to that. And then the other one I think is just about presenting as a group. The big thing, and someone thank you, Zach asked me about this, and it just wasn't on my radar. So we have listed group conferences next week, and so the next slide I want to talk about some options for how you could do that, and I think it would be a really valuable point of connection with your students if you're able to do that. Additionally, there is a self-reflection paper for the persuasive presentation. That document, prompt, everything is in the persuasive presentation folder. So please just make sure that students remember that. And then you can set the due date for that at the end of the week if you want, or the end of the semester. That's really up to you, but don't forget that that is in there. So group conferences, typically what would happen is if we were here on campus is you would just meet individually with your groups during class time, and maybe spend 10 minutes or so with each group. Obviously, we can't do that. So if at all possible, I would encourage you to schedule virtual meetings with your teams. My Com 217 instructors have done this. And the reports back I've gotten are that one, not every student will be able to attend due to time zone technical difficulties, but they have all, anyone I've talked to said it's been really, really nice just to have that kind of check-in, live check-in. You can talk about the class, but also just gauge a sense of how your students are doing. So just some options for tools you can use. WebEx is the Purdue supported conferencing tool. As an instructor, you all have an account and can host a meeting. If you are interested in using this tool and do not know how, reach out to me directly and I can get you more instructions or walk you through it. And then, of course, other things like Skype, Google Hangouts, whatever you want to use to do this. I think if you can see each other, have a mechanism that you can share a screen so you can look over their outline kind of thing, I think that would be great. Logistically, how would I do this? If it was going to be me, I would set up some time blocks during the week and allow groups to sign up for like a 15 to 20 minute slot. Those of you who teach later in the morning and later afternoon, you might even just use the time you would normally be in class, because even if students are having some synchronous content for other classes, they should not be having that during this time. Now, if you teach at 7:30 a.m., that might not work as well. So just kind of, I would designate some time that you're willing to be there, have groups sign up, and then depending on what mechanism you're using, like if it's WebEx, you can send them an invitation to your meeting using your meeting room. You can do whatever, kind of set a time that the group would convene and talk. Again, I want to stress it's okay if not all the members can attend. It's very likely that could happen just because also to like time conflicts and schedules. But I just think this would be a really valuable thing. So that is that. Just a couple of just general announcements. You should have gotten an email. I think it came through this morning. Maybe it came through last night about the general course evaluations and the semester evaluations were they will open on Monday the 20th and then they will close on the last, I think, Friday of class. So they're open for 2 weeks. So go ahead and your students will get emailed too, but you can always encourage them to take them if that's something that you had designated participation points. If a certain percentage of students took them, let them know about that. Another note, and this is not for next week, this is for the last week of the semester. If you remember back, we had every student take, and there were points in your class designated for the pre-test survey. Now we are getting to the time in the post-test survey. We are still going to run the post-test survey. I think it will be really interesting to see some of the changes and outcomes based on what has happened. Again, reminder too, I cannot connect this to you, all of that good stuff. There are points for this. However, just one caveat, and it's not ready yet. I will need to send out updated link because of the situation. We had to change some questions and add some questions. And so the link that is currently in your Blackboard course is not accurate. So I will send a new one out. And just as a reminder, you can find that if you go into the course documents, and it says communication skills post-test. It's probably currently hidden from students. And so when I have the new link ready, I will send that out to everyone. And then if you can just pop that into there and make that available to your students, and again, remind them that that's something that they should be doing the last week, that would be very helpful. Okay, you don't want to see all my emails. And so if I go back to my slides, so there's that. And then just in general, as the end of the semester wraps up, be looking at making sure that you've utilized all of your participation points, or you have a plan for that you're getting the outside activity things in, let students know they can be looking at their grades. Next week, we'll cover more any last minute questions about the group presentation. For group presentation week, I would really just have the groups submit that presentation. I would not add a lot of extra things in that week. And then I'll talk about how to wrap up and final things. So again, I hope you have a good weekend and another good week. And you'll, I'm sure, be hearing from me via email soon.